Adolescence. Adolescence describes teenage years between 13 to 19 and can be considered the transitional stage from childhood to adulthood. However, the psychical and psychological changes that occur in adolescence can start earlier, during the preteen, ages 9 through 12. Adolescence can be a time of both disorientation and discovery. The transitional period can bring up issues and independence and self-identify. Many adolescents and their peers face thought choices regarding schoolwork, sexuality, drugs, alcohol, and their social life. Peer groups, romantic interests, and external appearance tend to naturally increase in importance for some time during a teen's journey toward adulthood. In social development, a child's life has revolved mainly around the family. Adolescence has the effect of a stone dropped in water, as her social circle replies outward to include friendships and members of the same sex, the opposite sex, different social and ethnic groups, and other adults like a favorite teacher or coach. In physical development, puberty is defined as the biological changes of adolescence. By mid-adolescence, if not sooner, most teenagers' psychological growth is complete. They are at or close to their adult height and weight, and are now physically capable to having babies.
The present teenager world has been in constant change between the last decade, socially, educationally, but also in a religious way. Before the 50s, teenagers used to pay an important amount of attention to their religious education. Then the globalization process began with more power than ever before, and they were able to know other ways of living a spiritual life. Studies show that nowadays the American teenager, the basic representation of what a teenager may essentially be, thinks about religion as a way of living but doesn't necessarily consider they have to practice it to belong somewhere, just as they don't think its impact will affect their daily life. They prefer to be a good person because you believe in being a good person, not because you're just being good to get to heaven. All these alternative ways of being a spiritual being have been displacing the traditional religions, along with the fact that most teenagers don't trust the church, any church itself, but do believe in an individual God. And this way of thinking is being contagious through social media. Then, basically, each teenager has his own perspective about it, building their own religion. But it's also shown that while most of teenagers don't follow a strict religious life, the strong minority that does seems to be more successful in most of their life aspects, such as in personal relationships, individual jobs, their place in society, etc. So, most of the world's teenagers are creating a new interpretation of religion, whom they believe in and how they are going to live their life, including spiritual aspects in it. Then a minority gets stronger and stronger than ever because they are a very selected group of people. My actual concern is when the free-spirit teenagers meet the religiously strong minority and vice versa, will they be able to respect each other's perspective of life? Will they know how to live in a peaceful environment in the understanding that everyone has the right to believe in what they consider will bring them happiness at the end of their life? To be honest, I'm a bit scared to presence this collision because thanks to situations I've been witness of, it's very probable that they won't know how to really accept each other's without trying to change the other's point of view. And this idea of not knowing how to live by respecting everyone's opinion is what scares me of the future, especially about something so fundamental like what a person believes in.
Being a teenager could be a challenge. It is a very important stage in our life. It's where we more discover things about our body, how we think about everything, education, social life, and also about family. Adolescents start at the age of 15. At that age, everything turns more difficult. We have more doubts about what is happening with our body. Teenagers observe how they are growing up, and they even feel more hungry, and also they used to feel more tired. So it's more difficult for teenagers to focus on school, and social life could be an obstacle for their education. When a teenager starts school, it's very important for him or for her to be with some other teenagers of his age. They tend to make some new friends. Also, they started to be in social web pages, and also they tend to go out very often without any adult supervision. Teenagers feel more independent, and they feel that they can control everything. Some teenagers tend to choose the incorrect people to be with, and they finally could be doing wrong actions like drink alcohol or even prove some drugs. One positive thing about being a teenager is that you learn the meaning of friendship and the value of having someone who can help you in your worst moments.
Physical appearance. Any type of physical activity, games, sports, exercise, gives teenagers the opportunity to express, acquire self-confidence, and develop attitudes of belonging to a group or collective. Favors to relationships and allows social integration. All these virtues are opposed to the current common risk of sedentary, competitive, and stressful life around us. Stereotypes of beauty. Teenagers nowadays, they've been searching for her identity and in some cases have family problems, seek help from different places away from home, and become vulnerable to the ideas that the society such as stereotypes. Why teens follow these stereotypes? Mainly because they want to feel better about themselves when accepted in society, following what is fashionable. The type of stereotypes that women look for are mainly the models, singers or actresses who have a sculpted body, and men are looking for professional soccer players or another sport, or even though the singers or famous actors who have also a good physical.
And last but not least, the family. When we are small, we think our family will always have the right about everything. You will never question them and much less not agree with them. However, I have learned that this is not true and that in every family everything will not always be easy. Every family has its problems. Despite this, we must learn to accept mistakes and forgive, because no matter how bad a situation is, it is true that they always be there for you, seeking the best for you even we do not accept and we do not like the way they are doing it. Because after all, they are your family and no one else takes care of you and wants to like them, which we must always cherish.